All right, welcome back, True Seeker. First guy in the chat always speaks in emojis. I don't know what it means when you speak in emojis. Try out some words. Words are for adults, emojis are for children. Anyhow, it's the NFL Week 5 recap stream. Of course, there is still Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, but another pretty good week for us. For a lot of people, it would have been a very, very good week had the 49ers not blown the lead. That hurt some people in the community. I did not expect the Niners to lose, but we did hit the majority of our picks by a high percentage, and we got our favorite upset of the week, Giants over Seahawks. That was the biggest spread of the day, and it looked so good for those banged up Giants because injuries do not matter in the National Fixed League. So, all right. Okie dokie. So here, let's recap the games. Vikings at Jets. Again, how do we decode the games? We don't worry about injury reports. We don't worry about trends. All we look at is numbers. And every year over in London, we look for the London numbers. So check this out. You see how London equates to 88 and 25? Aaron Rodgers picked up his 88th loss. The coach of the Vikings got his 25th win. And by the Vikings winning, they became 5-8 versus the Jets all time, like London, England's 58. Now, we were talking about this earlier in the week, and we felt very confident about that. But I noticed something that made me a little bit apprehensive. Oh, by the way, here was one other thing. The game was in Tottenham, which is essentially a suburb of London. London's divided into 33 neighborhood areas, like England equals 33. But you see how Tottenham's 35? Again, if you're new here, these are the four base ciphers of the English language: the alphabetic order with numerology, the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. The Vikings got the 35th home win of the year for all NFL teams. And they did it in Tottenham, where they were the designated home team. And we said if that happens, which is the way we were leaning, then the Bears would be locked City for that 36th home win of the year because they were the first game on the slate after the Vikings because the NFL puts the games out in the slate. And the Bears ended up winning with 36 points, getting the 36th home win of the year. But yeah, the London numbers were all in the Vikings' favor. And historically, we've done very well with the London series by just following the London numbers. But you see how down here it says NFL London games? ESPN has never put that phrasing on their site before for a London game. It's the first time ever. We went back and looked at years past, and it always just said international series. And it almost felt like they did this just to bait us, because doesn't that phrasing even sound BS? Like, it's not a plural. It's one game. I understand there's going to be multiple games over there, but shouldn't it just say NFL London game? So the thing that had us humming and hawing, and I wish I hadn't even noticed this, but you see how it's 151 and 61? Had Rodgers gotten the win, he would have got his 151st career win and his 61st road win. But we stuck with the London numbers and the idea of the 35th home win. It did make it a little bit tighter realizing that. But anyway, now we just know. Just stick with London like we always have. Disregard the weird phrasing of NFL London games. And in the Bears-Panthers game, not only was there the alignment for the 36th home win, but Andy Dalton. Just again, if you're new here, the ciphers on the left are the more important ciphers. Andy Dalton today fell to 37 and 46 away for his career. Also, notice how Chicago Bears does equal 71, like Soldier Field equals 71. The Bears became 7-1 at home versus the Panthers. They've dominated them at home in the series. And then again, Bears also 36. And look at the score, you guys. I mean, how many points are in the game? 46, right? Just like how Dalton fell to 37 and 46 away. I mean, how many times have I talked about Chicago and 46? Like almost every week I'm recapping the NFL. I'm talking about the way they worked in 46 with Chicago. Remember, they won their only Super Bowl 46-10 with the revolutionary 4-6 defense. So that was that game. Oh, and by the way, the Vikings winning 23-17. That's 40 points. They became 4-0 in the international series. And notice how Darnold equals 40. Rodgers also. Or I missed the D. That's why I was like, where's it at? Rodgers, he spells it with a D. 40. And remember, last week it was about 40 with the Vikings too. Tim Walls equals 40. J.D. Vance 40. J.D. Vance was picked as the VP nominee in Wisconsin. And last week, the Vikings became 4-0, beating the Packers right before the vice presidential debate, when every year we're showing you how the same group of Masons that control the NFL, they also control your rigged elections, and they always bring them together. Again, D.C. is known as the Masonic City. American football is credited to the Freemason Walter Camp. Freemasonry is based in Kabbalah. A component of Kabbalah is the practice of coding numbers into words. So for all of you guys who think this is hocus pocus and doesn't make sense, it's because you don't have enough information to understand why it makes perfect sense and why we've been dominating futures in the rigged National Fitz League to the tune of better than anything you've ever seen anyone else ever do for over a decade. Ravens and Bengals. When this game went to overtime, 38-38, you knew the Bengals were done. Zach Taylor stayed on 38 wins. Ravens equals 38. I mentioned yesterday in our live stream, you probably want to tease the Bengals up to 3.5 points because the Ravens were a 2.5 point favorite. So if you just tease up the Bengals a point, you don't make as much on the payout, but then they could lose by a field goal. It's exactly what they ended up doing. I had a feeling this one was going to be a thriller. And what gave the Bengals a shot at winning, what we always teach is it's better to have a pickup narrative than a stay narrative. And a pickup means you can pick up the win or the loss rather than like stay on the number. For example, Lamar Jackson could have stayed on 60 wins in this game. Bengals equals 60. He came in on 60, but you don't always stay. And Burrow could have stayed on 25 losses, but he did not. And then also, interestingly enough, Cincinnati's 174. Harbaugh could have stayed on 174 wins, but at the same time, Zach Taylor could have stayed on 38 wins. And again, it's not an accident that these guys come in on all these numbers and face each other. You notice they do this stuff week after week, and that's why some games are clearer picks than others. And one of the games that I was the most emphatic about this week was the Giants to beat the Seahawks. I didn't care about the injury report. All the numbers screamed Giants win, and they did. With a big old payout. They were the best payout on the board. But the Dolphins and Patriots, there wasn't a whole lot to go off of in this game, like I said. And what's funny is the one thing that could have gone for Brissett is Brissett could have got his 15th win today. Today's date numerology breaks down to 15. You get that by adding the date, which is 10/6/2024. So 1 plus 0 plus 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 is 15. Brissett did not get his, I think it would have been home win for Brissett. Had he won, he would have got his 15th home win. Instead, he loses with 15. But Gematria is better than date numerology for wins and losses. So there wasn't a whole lot there on that game. The Commanders, what stood out is obviously they're playing way better than the Browns. They're one of the hottest teams in the league. But we said if the Commanders win, they'll face Baltimore next week, 4-1. Baltimore, the 41 city. Remind me, how many points did Baltimore win with today? Remind me, what road win did Patrick Mahomes pick up in the AFC Championship last year? Oh, that's right. He picked up his 41st. Baltimore fell to 5-8 versus the Chiefs as the Chiefs went on to Super Bowl 58 and Andy Reid stayed on 58 losses. But yeah, Baltimore's the 41 city. You might recall when the bridge collapsed, the Key Bridge, it had a lot to do with 41, and it fell on Nancy Pelosi's birthday. And it fell on Nancy Pelosi's 84th birthday. Her father was the 41st mayor of Baltimore, and his birthday is August 1st, just like Francis Scott Key. And you might recall the bridge collapsed at 1:28 in the morning, 128 days before Francis Scott Key's birthday. Again, Masons. They're rigging more than your football games. They're rigging the demolition of bridges so you can pay billions of dollars in taxpayer aid, just like what was passed after that happened. Again, while you're sitting on your ass watching the rigged games, the politicians are rigging more important things that end up with more loss of rights and liberties and taxes and fees. And they just know they can rule over the plebs if they just give them the bread and the circus, which is what the National Fix League is in the Kabbalistic scheme, if you will. And don't we always call D.C. the 47 city? And don't we always talk about Ohio's 47 connection? Look how many points were in that game. 47, right? 47 points. And think about it, D.C. and Baltimore are right next door to each other. Baltimore wins with 41 before they play the Commanders. And again, we'll do more decoding on this, but notice what happens if Baltimore cools off Jaden Daniels next week. Do you see it? If Baltimore goes in 3-2 and the Commanders go in 4-1, what's the possible overlap number here? You know what I mean? And isn't it interesting how the Commanders with Jaden Daniels are dominating early in the 105th NFL season? The season where they got rid of O.J. Simpson by the numbers just before it kicked off. R.I.P. O.J. Simpson 105 like Commanders for the 105th season. The Jaguars seem like Lock City today, but I'll admit the Niners seem like Lock City too, and I'm a little bit shocked about the Niners game. I'm wondering if it was like too much money was that way, and Vegas had to flip the script in the second half because the Niners got shut out and gave up a 13-point lead in the second half. Like, really? Over the lowly Cardinals? The Niners had the numbers to win too. So, but we've seen more of this in the last 4 years as gambling's become legalized across the nation. And with the FanDuel and DraftKings, we've seen a lot more surprising outcomes. And the Niners were one of those today. But today was Trevor Lawrence's birthday. Notice he had to wait until his birthday to get his first win. And the Colts fell to 2-3. Jaguars 23. Colts 15. Trevor Lawrence stayed on 15 home losses. You see how Colts is 66? His coach got his 66th win and stayed on 60 losses. And we love that 60 number earlier this year when LaFleur beat the Colts for his 60th win. Always comes back to the same old patterns. The Bills and Texans. We were on the Texans side. And part of the reason why sometimes you have to look a week ahead. Sometimes you got to look a week ahead. We noticed that if the Texans won this week and next week, they'd become 5-1 over the Patriots. And you see how Houston Texans equals 51? Do you remember what happened in Super Bowl 51 hosted by the Texans? That's the one where the Patriots had the 25-point comeback on 2/5 over the Falcons. Falcons 25. That was the 97th season, which is the 25th prime. Bill Belichick won that year. His name's 97. By the way, did you see that how they just added Matt Ryan to the Ring of Honor on Thursday Night Football? Ring of Honor 139. Atlanta Falcons 139. They did that 139 days after Matt Ryan's birthday. It just reminded me how these Manchurians are born and bred to be. The scripted rituals go on even beyond their careers to when they meet their early grave, as so many of these athletes do. R.I.P. to the 1,000 we've covered over the last 10 years. College and pro. Sadly, it's probably been more than 1,000. People don't even blink an eye. But yeah, and here's what else was going on. Josh Allen stayed on 66 wins. Houston Texans 66. He came in on 31 losses, big Houston number, and picked up his 32nd. And I want to say there was one other thing in that game there was one other thing too that was there for the Texans. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, the lean was Texans in that one. It was tight because the one thing that's dangerous, it's dangerous to go against 31 in Houston. Houston in 31 plays hard. And I do know that if Stroud wins his next game, that was the other thing. I said if Stroud won the next two, he'd become 11-2 at home. So we'll see if that happens. But there was plenty there in this case. It's very rare that I'll go against 31 in Houston, but there was plenty there on the Texans side to make it look like it was a little bit better for him today. The Broncos and Raiders. Broncos had a nice upset for us over the Bucs. Sean Payton used to coach the Saints, beats his old division rival to get his first win with the Broncos. That was his 170th win for Sean Payton. Then he becomes 9-11 with the Broncos as he goes into the New York Jets and beats them to become 10-11, like New York 111. Rodgers fell to 3-2 in that game. Broncos was 32 like Denver. And he fell to 3-2 with the Jets because he did get credited for that game where he got injured on the first play in 9/11, or was it the second play, but right at the start of the game. But anyway, Sean Payton, all of the Broncos win narratives have been through them. And notice, Las Vegas fell to 2-3 while Denver got to 3-2, right? Denver's 32. Las Vegas is 23. But remember the big number in Colorado, it's 38. Colorado, the 38th state, equals 38. Raiders also equals 38. When Sean Payton beat the Bucs, he got his 170th win, including the playoffs. Today, he got his 163rd win in the regular season. And you see, like, the baseball team in Colorado equals 163. 163 is the 38th prime number. So Sean Payton got his 163rd regular season win in Colorado, beating the 38 team, the Raiders. And that's just a consistent number with the Raiders. But that's the thing, too. Every season can be a little bit different. Some years you'll identify that games are being scripted more with the coach of a certain team. And so far, everything this year has been through Sean Payton with the Broncos. Same with Zach Taylor. Every narrative was Zach Taylor. Like we had the Patriots upsetting the Bengals to start the year because Zach Taylor fell to, you see how New England is 45? He got his 45th loss. New England's actually 45 forwards and backwards. Zach Taylor fell to 37-45 when he lost to New England in the regular season. And then when he got upset by the Commanders, he fell to 42, Commanders 42, and 49, Washington 49. And then today it goes to overtime 38-38, and he stays on 38 wins in the regular season. And it's funny because they play the Giants next too, pointing to the next game as well. So, okay. Cardinals, 49ers, like, I honestly don't know what to say about why the Cardinals won. Here, I'm actually going to pull up my notes here real quick. I'm going to pull up my notes and look at this game because this is the game I was by far the most wrong about. I was very confident that the Niners would win this game. And here, let's just go back through and see if we missed anything here. What did we? Oh, I see one thing that I didn't highlight. I could have highlighted this because I highlighted the 15s in a lot of other games. 15 is the fifth triangular number, and it was 15 date numerology. So, okay, that's one thing that was an oversight. So, okay, maybe that was the one. But usually the head-to-head record is not going to overcome a narrative with a because usually if a QB and a coach have a narrative to win, and Purdy and Shanahan both did. See, Purdy had the narrative to get his 15th home win, and I know Shanahan had the narrative to get his 75th win, and that's a good number with the Cardinals. So he did not get his 75th win today. Purdy did not get his 15th home win, but the Niners, I should have wrote that down. And sometimes when I get too confident about games, I'll go back and I'll look and I'll be like, okay, well, I should have at least noted that down. That wouldn't have made me change my mind about the game. But Jonathan Gannon got his 6th win. The date numerology. See, if you guys know how to do date numerology, there's a few different paths. So like you take, today's October 6, 2024. So 1, 0, 6, 2, 0, 2, 4. You just add all that up as digits. It adds up to 15. 15 in numerology is 1 plus 5 is 6. Another path is you go 10 plus 6, so that's 16, and then you take the year digit by digit, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4, so that's 8 more. So another path is 24, but 24 also breaks down to 6. And then another path is 10 plus 6 plus 20 plus 24, which is 60. Just like how, for example, we said earlier, Indianapolis is 60, and it made a lot of sense. If Doug Peterson, the coach of the Jags, stayed on 60 losses on the 60 date numerology versus Indianapolis, as he also gets his 66th win, and his QB stays on 15 losses on what's also 15 date numerology. So that's really all I see there for the Cardinals. That's still shocking to me. I see nothing else for the Cardinals. Hold up. I'm going to break out a stat. I'm going to go on my other browser because it's the only way I can access StatMuse. It doesn't let me access it on this browser. I'm like banned on that one for whatever reason. But hold on. Cardinals all-time record versus NFC West. I just told myself I was going to stop looking at division records because they throw me off more often than not. The Cardinals got their 96th win in the NFC West today. That does break down to 6. That's still not. I'm still amazed. Let me see their road record. Oh shit! I might have to bring back the division records. You know what? I hate the division records though. It's like, it did play in the Ravens game. The Ravens got their 75th win versus the AFC North today, and Cincinnati Bengals is also 75. But here's what the Cardinals just got. The Cardinals just got their 50th all-time road win versus the NFC West, and Kyler Murray had a 50. The National Fix League, Kyler Murray had a 50-yard touchdown run in this game. Oh, my God. See, the reason I don't want to look at division records is because, like, a lot of times they'll make me be like, oh, now I'm not sure about the game because they'll be in conflict with the QB and the coach, and then usually they don't even matter. Sure enough, I don't look at it this week, and it tends to be the case maybe for what happened here with the Cardinals. But here, yeah, Kyler Murray. Let me pull up the scoring play so you can see it. I mean, how many? If you guys have ever watched my channel, how many times I talk about San Francisco and 50, the team that used to be 5-0 in Super Bowls? Look at this. First touchdown of the game. Kyler Murray, 50-yard run. Down 23-10 at the half. And the Niners could not score any points in the second half. And you know, just things too that are curious along the way. It's like, why did the Cardinals go for 2 points here? I mean, in a way, it seems like it's really stupid because, like, okay, if you don't convert, now you're not going to be able to tie with a field goal. But National Fixed League, that must have been the script. I knew the Cardinals were going to take it. Okay, so Cardinals got the 50th road win in the most 50 city in America, the team that hosted Super Bowl 50. Yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny? Thursday night football, I told people last week why Cousins was going to beat the Saints last week and then win Thursday night football to get his 79th win over Tampa Bay. And he did. He got his 79th win over Tampa Bay. And he also got his 46th home win, like Thursday has the 46th connection. But then before the game, I decided to look at the division records just because, and then I saw the Bucks could stay on 35 all-time road losses versus the AFC South. And then I lost my confidence in the Falcons. So I'm like, and then I said right then, I said, all right, I'm not looking at division records anymore this year. And now it comes back to haunt me in the Niners game. I hate the division record aspect of this. You just stick to strong QB narratives, you'll do fine. Just like you might have just had one game today. The Seahawks to beat the Giants because it was a super strong QB narrative going against Geno Smith, which we'll recap here again. But okay, it was the division record was the best thing going for the Cardinals. And had I been aware of that, I wouldn't have been as confident about the 49ers. But the Packers winning today, the Rams fell to 1-5 at home since they returned to LA versus the Packers. And that's a big number with the Rams, 15. For those of you guys who follow the Rams and Niners, you might recall what number 15 for the Niners just did to the Rams a few weeks ago, scoring 3 touchdowns in the game. But yes, the Rams just fell to 1-5 at home since returning to LA versus the Packers. And there's another part of this. The Packers play Arizona next week. So right now they're 3-2, right? It's the same reason we like Kittle to get a touchdown today, and he did. He got his 42nd career touchdown over Arizona. But the Packers, here, I'll put it this way. The Packers are 3-2 right now. So if you can do this math, you can see where we're going with this. And the Packers coach LaFleur's on 62 wins. So next week he plays this team that has this what value? You see what I mean? If you cannot figure out what I'm saying right now, it's time to go back to kindergarten. But this was our game of the day. The Giants upsetting the Seahawks. I guarantee you this one just destroyed so many people that bet today. Because see, this is how they get you in the National Fixed League. You're looking at this game, right? You're looking at this game and you're going, well, the Giants are huge underdogs and essentially their 2 offensive weapons are out. I mean, how could they possibly ever win the game? I mean, I don't think they could possibly win the game without them. I mean, their whole offense this year is Malik Neighbors. You know, this is how you're thinking if you think the games are real. So you're like, I'll go bet the house today on the Seahawks. And I'm sure a lot of people did. And I'm sure a lot of people feel like they got robbed and they're just so confused. And they're like, how's this even possible? They're outside. It's sad. I have a neighbor couple. There's a few people in this neighborhood who know what I do, but I was just watching they're a teacher. One's an actual teacher in the classroom and the other's a PE teacher. And I just saw them walking by in their 12th man fan jerseys. You know how out here in Seattle, if you don't know, they wear the fan jerseys. It just says fan with 12 because the Seattle fans think they're having an impact on the game and they have no idea about gematria and that fan even equals 12 too. But I just saw them walk by and I just saw the way I could just read their whole body language. They don't normally look like that. They're all distraught right now, these poor teachers. I mean, they're probably going to go into the classroom and be all depressed about it on Monday. But again, it's like I'm almost going to have to go down and give them the gematria lesson so this doesn't happen to them again. Here, Geno Smith, again, one more time. He fell to 33-39, including his postseason record. New York's 33-39. And then in the regular season, he has one less loss. So he stayed on 33 wins. His wins are the same in the regular season, but he picked up his 38th regular season loss. So he became 33-38. New York Giants. His record's perfect in both categories. And Daniel Jones got his 24th regular season win, and you just see that number all the time with the Seahawks. 24. So another prediction we had for the week is, you see how the Falcons got the first home win of the week? We predicted home teams would go 8-6 for the week. And it remains to be seen if that's true, but it's alive right now. And if you want to learn about why 8-6 could be super duper important based on the final matchups of the week, Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, I suggest you sign up for the Patreon, because it could be very lucrative for another future. And we are the masters of cashing futures. But, and for those of you guys who come into the public streams and drop super crucial information in the public stream, it just kind of makes me go okay, I know who's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Why is the Steelers-Cowboys game delayed, by the way? What's that about? Is it some kind of weather thing? It must be weather, huh? I was just about to wrap this thing up because I was assuming it must be close to game time. Yeah, 30 minutes due to weather. Okay. Gonna have to weather the storm. But yeah, it was a good week. We can't say it was a great week, though, because the Niners kept us from greatness. And it's a reminder, though, that even though I hate looking at the division records because it will make me indecisive about games that I otherwise like, that usually I'm just like, why did I even look at the division records? Sometimes they do matter. And that's obviously what happened here. And again, see, when you're aware of the numbers too, real-time betting. When Kyler Murray starts the game with a 50-yard rushing touchdown, and beforehand, like normally I would have had people in the know. I've done the division records every week except for this week. It's funny, the first week I throw it out is the week it burns me the hardest. But that's the way life is sometimes. But see, when you're aware of the numbers, you can really pinpoint the in-game rituals. I mean, a 50-yard touchdown in San Francisco away almost goes without saying, but when you're aware that if the Cardinals upset, they can get their 50th road win against the NFC West all time, it's and here, I'll pull this up right here. So StatMuse will not update until tomorrow, just so you guys can see that this is the case. Cardinals all-time record versus NFC West. Here, I got to switch over. It's not all-time road record. Here, I got to switch the camera view because I'm on a different browser. Here, I'll try it out real quick just in case. But StatMuse on this browser has been telling me forever that I've used up my daily finds, even though I haven't used this website in over a month. Cardinals all-time road record versus NFC West. Oh, snap. I'm back in it. Okay. It's been forever since let me use it. So there it is. This is not updated. This will update tomorrow, and tomorrow you'll see that it went up to 50. And they came in on 49 versus the 49ers, and then they get 50 over San Francisco, the one we call the 50 City. But yeah, that's annoying. That kept us from the glory today. Still a very good day, but man, it would have been a glorious day. Especially if we would have had that upset. And that's interesting that the two biggest spreads of the day, those were the two biggest spreads. And they're both NFC West games. That one was all NFC West, Cardinals and Niners. Seahawks, obviously, in the NFC West, Giants in the NFC East. But those were the two biggest spreads of the day. Niners and Seahawks were the biggest favorites of the day. Love, love, love the Giants upset. Didn't do my homework on the division record and got kicked in the nuts for it. So anyway. But yeah, we were on the right side of pretty much every other game that we thought was worth a play today. And I'm still sore about the Niners, though. I'm still a little bit sore about it. All right. Her Wanson. It says R.I.P. Ugladar, Ukraine. Ugladar, Ukraine. Let me see what this is about. Russia invades Ugladar. Okay, I see. Ugladar. Are you asking me to look into that? Is that what that's about? Ugladar? I can look into it. Yeah, I'm yeah. If you guys don't know about the whole thing with Russia in Ukraine and Israel, learn some gematria. You'll see how it's obviously controlled, all of it, by the same Jesuit forces. Remember, the Jesuits are the daddies of Freemasonry. That's why in the NFL you play for the Jesuit trophy in the Super Bowl, the Vince Lombardi trophy. And don't forget what happened to old Vince. Just drops dead the day before the 1970 NFL season begins at Jesuit Georgetown. 70 is a big number with the home base for the Jesuits, the Vatican. And remember last year we had the first ever Super Bowl on the Vatican's birthday. And what was the score? 25-22. 25-22, 47 total points. The over-under was at 47.5. Chiefs took care of business as expected. Okay. Shout out to John Mendoza, always with the generous dollars. Thank you, John. Yeah, we thought Daniel Jones would have 2 passing touchdowns today. Seattle, Washington, 68. He got his 68th regular season passing touchdown. Indeed. 49 points also in that game in Washington State. Washington's 49. Yeah, we'll see what happens with old Devontae Adams. All right, but yeah, we'll leave it there for now. And again, congrats to the winners. Chris, if you want to take a call here, I'll drop the link. Chris, you're going to have to send me an email because your phone call is not going to come through. I'm not going to lie. Thursday night, I had to block your number, and I was so annoyed with you, I even just deleted the whole thing. So I don't remember what your phone number is, but I just know it's blocked. I'll forgive you, though, again, but I've asked you like 20 times to stop spamming my phone. And again, when you send 50 text messages in a row, I'm like, what doesn't this dude get? So I don't even know what your number is. All I know is it's blocked, and I deleted your contact, so I can't even see it. But I'll still let you call in, or I drop the link if you want to connect that way. So. All right, yeah, if anybody else wants to hop on, well, we see if Chris wants to hop in here. I did drop the link if you guys want to come in and share something. We got somebody going by R. What's up, R?
What up, Zach? It's 510. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I did just it. Here, let me make sure I don't have the echo setting on. Make sure we're good. You're good. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, what up, what up? They got a weather delay going on right now with the Steelers game. I was wondering if you could link to that. They're talking about a thunderstorm and weather delay. They keep spamming that.
Yeah, I just read that it's a 30-minute delay. I don't know what else to say about it.
What's your thoughts on my Steelers? You think we're going? Oh, did you see the injuries as well? I don't know if you saw the
Is this 510? Is that who this is?
Yeah, man.
Oh my god.
I just want to see what your thoughts was on the game.
Oh, again, hey, for people who want my thoughts on the game, I gave a clue. You should already know. You're on the Patreon. What did I say? Don't even listen. We got to save intel for the games ahead. That's how we want people to support the work. So you should go back and read the notes if you don't know what I think.
No, I'm not. That's what I was asking. But I was just saying, like, I feel like I was just saying, like, what you thought, because you said we're gonna lose.
I didn't
Uh,
say that. I didn't say that.
no, the last week you said after. No, I was just wondering because I was like, I didn't know if you knew the injuries that the Dallas
Oh well,
had.
last week, Richardson, the fourth pick of the draft, had a chance to become 4-4. That was awfully concerning for the Steelers, and he did do that, the fourth pick of the draft, but he also got beat up for it. So, anyway, just go back and read the notes. This is our resident super Homer Steelers fan right here. We're
Yes,
cheering for him.
sir.
We're cheering for him.
All right,
All
I
right,
gotta
all right,
come
take
in
care.
banter.
Okay, he loves to talk Steelers. All right, here's one of my favorite members of the whole community. What's up? Open up.
Yo, what's up? It's funny that the Steelers fan, he was talking about 8-0 earlier this year, and then the first game they lost, I couldn't find him anywhere in the
Yeah,
pitch
I know.
notes.
He had to duck out for a week, but
Yeah,
his team didn't get off to a good start though.
yeah, they did. But I wanted to call about a couple picks well, not picks, but a couple observations I made earlier this morning that did come through. And it seems like my context picks are not winning, but the picks that I talk about outside of my contest picks, they are doing well. So um, this morning I brought up Sam Hubbard to get his 41st sack in Baltimore, and he got that. Marlon Humphrey, he got his 15th interception in his 105th game. That one came through.
That Sam Hubbard had a huge play the year that the Bengals and Ravens met in the playoffs, and Lamar Jackson was sitting out, and they had Huntley in. So he might really like his games against the Ravens.
Right. And then the other one that I spoke about was Demarcus Robinson, and there was a person in the chat asking about how you go about the player props if you like jersey numbers or date, and I was telling him it's usually the best combinations when you use both of them, like the jersey matching the date. So today was Demarcus Robinson, number 15 days after his birthday, playing for the Rams, which equals 15th, and he ended up in the end zone. So yeah, there's some good observations I made. A lot of good stuff with defense was coming through today. I didn't do that well with touchdowns, but I did have a few good plays here and there. So I credit you for teaching me the knowledge, as always.
Yeah, you've been killing it this year. What is your percentage from the amount you've wagered to how much you've made? Do you have a quick estimate of that?
Everything I do is $5 or less. So if I was to like kind of ballpark how much money I've put on bets and how much I've won, I would say I've played about $100 or $200, and I've made maybe upwards of 800, 900.
So it's about times 4, almost times 5, or it could be
Right.
better than that. Actually, if you actually did the math, I know you've shown me some fives into about 300 2 or 3 times this year. So
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to put up a lot of money to get a lot back. You just have to, put the work in. And I'm working on a new Excel sheet that I'm gonna put together to see like the best things that are coming through, like Falcons 25, things like that. So I'm gonna work on that probably this week, so I could get more accurate.
sure. And again, I mean, every season, if you're following it, you're learning more as the season goes. Like what I know about the Bengals this year is if it's Zach Taylor has a narrative to win or lose, that's what's happening every single game to them. So for whatever reason, their season's connected with Zach Taylor. And part of me starts to wonder if this is about a president dying because Zach Taylor died in office, the president, Zach Taylor. So we'll see. And he is stuck on 38 right now, and we know what 38 means.
Yep.
And God, you know what? We're so close to the death anniversary of Edgar Allan Poe, which is tomorrow, which the Ravens are named after. So somebody better look out for Joe Biden.
Yeah, we already know his clock is ticking now till the election day.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that's been doing very, very well this year is that 105, whether it's someone playing their 105th game or 105 days after their birthday or before their birthday, that has been very accurate, whether it comes to offensive or defensive players. So that's something, I guess, free game for the public chat.
Indeed. Well, hey, well done. So you posted another winning day today?
I would say I would probably break even today. I mean, I did win some, but I didn't win as good as the
You didn't have a
first
big
few
week
weeks.
like you've been having. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, break even's not the end of the world. You're still well up for the season. So, all right.
Yeah. And then for me, like I said, I only bet 5. Everything I do is like $5, whether it's parlays or straights. So every time I lose, like it doesn't really have any effect on me because it's $5, you know?
Indeed. Indeed. All right.
Appreciate it, Zach.
Well, hey, well done. Keep it up. Yeah. Have a good one.
Take care. You too.
All right. Now I'm going to bring on Chris from Vegas. This man lives in Vegas and he's a master of recognizing the betting lines. He's also a master of turning my hair gray by spamming my phone. Chris, I felt bad the other night when I blocked you and then deleted the thing so I couldn't find your number. I instantly regretted doing that. But dude, stop blowing up my phone like that. Still, I shouldn't have done that because this guy is good at what he does. And even though he drives me nuts, I'm still going to bring him on because I think he'll help you win too. So how's that for an introduction? All right. What's up, Chris?
Zach, to be honest with you, I got nothing but humility for you. I know you might think sometimes or some things, you know, we've been together for a long time. This is actually, to be honest, since I've known Zach, we don't talk very much. I do send him texts. Most of the time, I send him texts quite a bit on a regular basis, and he will answer that because that's why he's saying that. In all fairness, to myself and to the other people too, I use it to also credit myself. You already know the credibility and what I've been through in the time that I've done this. And you also receive text messages from all your members that are sending you plays and picks and what they like and what they do. So you're probably constantly getting blown up with text messages on a regular basis, especially with your competition. So adding my texts in there by maybe 20 more than the average person, because myself, I do every sport, everything. There's nothing I don't do. So I'm constantly showing you stuff. One thing is, I don't want to blow.
If there's a competition for the fastest texter in the world, you might want to sign up for that too, because I don't even know how you send text messages as fast as you. I'm like, the heck, like, what is this?
Hey man, I do have. I know. I have ADHD. I'm extremely hyperactive. Like I said, my dad was autistic. When I was born and stuff going through it, they couldn't really nail it, but I'm extremely focused, hyper focused. I do, you know, like I said, you're great at what you do. I never discredit anything that you don't do. Your information is extremely valuable. And I truly humbled by getting your stuff every day. And I never want you to think that I'm in competition with you. We do two different things. And Zach's right. Zach, I know Gematria, and I'm getting bigger at Gematria than it is. It's a lot more easier for me. I find everything a lot more right there. I know a lot more easier than it was after the 9 years. And a lot of it is your repetition every day. You're constantly on it. I mean, this is what you do, your life, your livelihood. So I can understand the integrity part. And I never want to discredit or take anything from you guys. So do know that for you deleting my phone number and deleting that, I'm still your buddy. If you don't want to be my buddy or anything like that, it's not a problem. I do know this in your community. You do have everybody's best interest because you do go by the numbers with what you go by. With what I go by, a little bit about myself, guys. I sat in a corner for 14 years and over 14,000 hours tracking numbers and patterns recognition, like Zach said in the introduction. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, guys. And that's why we had the Cardinals money line today. And how did I have the Cardinals money line today? Well, you got to go back to a pattern and go back to tracking it, or how are you going to nail it? Remember, there's one thing I do like to say, Zach. Bad information can cost you more than no information. You got to make sure you stay focused and stay informed and in tune. So going with what I'm going back to week 1 when the Patriots are playing the Bengals. You got the same number, same spread, same line. It came out, and the Patriots beat the Bengals. You were on it. You nailed it. You're on it. I'm on it. I loved your notes. My numbers linked up. We smashed it. Going forward, almost the same thing as the Commanders money line on Thursday night plus 300 that I was on. Same number, same line, same thing you see, and you nail it. There's 2 in a row. You go for 3. Now you hit the cards over the 49ers. Same thing with the Giants. You love the Giants today. The Giants came through. We had them on the +7. I liked the money line. I thought it was going to be sneaky. Didn't want to put too much out there on that, but I thought they were going to keep it really close because of by the numbers. So when I look at something like, for instance, going off of that kind of things. I look at Hodges. Hodges, when I said Hodges in the chat was going to score a touchdown, anytime touchdown, he ended up scoring with the Falcons. I like the Falcons. I went based off of the Bills, the Ravens. It stays consistent. It usually goes pretty close. So that was the same line as tonight that you're going to have in the Steelers and the Cowboys. And everybody wants to know what Chris Vegas has. I get DMs all the time. They constantly want to know what Vegas is saying, what they're doing, where's the money at. And we are two different people. You do what you do, and it's the master. What I do, I know my worth. I put in the hard work. That's how I had the NASCAR racer today, Richard Stevenson Jr., to win NASCAR today at plus 3,500. A lot of people didn't have him. You go to my Patreon, he's on there. I smashed it. Number 47 today. 60 in Gematria, prime, right? 47 driver. I do learn a little bit about where you're going, but I do also learn with the numbers that pay. Remember, you got to have a starting point. So every day when you wake up, you're looking for your starting point. You have an advantage on what you do that you love, Zach. You look at either the players' names, the coaches, the jerseys, the letters, who's coaching, who's pitching, the conferences, the divisions. There's so much information, millions of information. At the end of the day, you could keep it really, really small and go, well, there is a starting point. The odds makers come up with something and tell you who's going to win and lose before the game's even started. These lines are out. When people are going to make their bet, they're making that current line, a manipulated line. They've never seen it. They don't even know. They're worried about the quarterback not playing. They're worried about the coaches hurt. They're worried about the injuries and why your starters aren't playing. And then Hodges comes in out of the blue and the guy's laying down like he's out of breath. Do they ever take their helmet off? Hardly ever in the time like that, unless they're going to bring someone in. They know they can't go in the last 12 seconds. The guy just got hit on the side barely, got the wind knocked out of it. They immediately tell him, he takes his helmet off. You know someone's got to come in. At that point, I had him. It was lucky. Fuck, you're right there at whatever time. But still, at the end of the day, you can go back and look, hey, shit, something's on here. And I know I'm not perfect and flawless, just like you keep bringing up the Dick Buckus, the Bears from last year. Hey, I'm not perfect, but I do got one on you on this last Falcons game. So hopefully we can squash those, and you don't keep drilling me on that.
It wasn't just the Bears game. You literally went against 35 Thursday every game last year, and there were certain people in the community that were starting to think that you had to be a shill because you were losing every week. And it's like, how can he keep calling in against 35 Thursday every week? And we didn't miss last year. And this week, before the game came around, I did have the Falcons to win that game. I called that out last week, but I should not have come off what I said. So,
no, you did.
The other thing, though, is Chris, Thursday, I don't know what was with you, but you did also post in the chat. You did say you didn't have Patriots to beat Bengals in week 1. Everyone was like, yeah, he did. What, you had it before the season?
I was talking to the Zeddy guy. The Zeddy guy, when he was talking about that upset, and he was trying to hope that they would upset this week. I said, no, the upset was for week 1. That's when you should have got the that's when you had it and I had it. Everybody had it. When you really should.
Yeah, it just wasn't clear who you were talking to. But so, Chris, what lines do you use, though? Do you use William Hill's lines? Is that what lines you use?
No, I'm not going to give you my mojo. I can't tell you what lines I do use because I put in a lot of time and a lot of hard work. Well,
see, at the end of the day, guys, though, that's the difference between Chris and I. I give you guys everything I know, but see, the downside of that is it's just like I used to always be over 80% every single day with picks, but now because the knowledge has got out there and more people know it, we don't win as high of a percentage. But I
think this, Zach, I think really when you got to find
Chris, again, I respect what Chris does, and I know that there is definitely merit to it because he calls a lot of good games. But a lot of times he doesn't share anything with our community, and then he comes in after the fact and he's like, look at all the games I nailed. Sign up for my Patreon. It's $300 tier. And then it's like, and that's what people see, Chris, though. They're like, you just kind of hang around to advertise your stuff because you never contribute to anything that we're doing.
No, I call in and give plays that are like pointers and stuff, and I give stuff out there, but also I get a lot of people that want it, and they do want it for free, and they're constantly asking or sending messages and then DMs and stuff, and they're like, come to chat. When you go to Zach, let us know and do stuff out there. And actually, it's hard because
again, the thing is, though, Chris, a lot of people notice. The reason I allow you to hang around is because I think like I said, I am being sincere. Your methods are real and they're proven, but it is kind of obvious to everyone that the only real reason that you hang around is to advertise your work. and you don't share a whole lot. Like last year, you weren't helpful to the NFL season. You were like literally trying to cast doubt on 35 Thursday every single week.
That
And
was
it got
just
old
one
to a lot of
game.
people. It got old to a lot of people. I was like, why is he doing this?
I get it. If you want to take maybe Thursday games, there's 18 weeks. We'll say maybe 12 out of those Thursday games, maybe 12 out of the 100 games that were played. I think there's 112 games. I might have missed 8 of them with you. I was above 86% for the whole season, but I did nail the Super Bowl for you. The Gatorade plus purple that I haven't heard you say in a while. I told you Gatorade plus purple.
I don't like to do the Gatorade color thing. I don't like the Gatorade color thing.
I understand. There's 15 colors, but I nailed it. I also had Mecole Hardman Jr. at 15-1 to hit that touchdown. I remember you saying
we talked about him too. We knew about his next touchdown was 19. We knew the whole game was about 19.
And then I also had the Chiefs money line -2.5, and they hit. I remember you telling everybody in the community, excellent job of giving that out there before the game started. And then I also had
you did have good calls for the Super Bowl. That's what I mean. No, Chris, it's not that. It's just.
No, I'm just saying what I had. I'm just saying what I had. If I messed up on your Thursday games, 8 out of 12 weeks, I apologize. I did come through on the other games. And when I have a following stuff, and a lot of people, I don't want to saturate my stuff and give it out there too much for free, right? Like I said, bad information can cost you more than no information. Sometimes if loose lips sink ships, maybe you get influenced by the things that you shouldn't. You stay true to where you are. The only way you can stay true to where you are is if you have a starting point every day that's the exact same starting point that you do on a regular basis. I don't know your starting point. I don't know if you go off of the players' names, the coaches, the jersey numbers. When you wake up every day and you're looking for tomorrow to post, and you're looking for your news outbreaks and your biggest and top stories, and you're linking it up with your players and coaches and pitchers, and you're trying to get a connection and you link it up, if that's your starting point, there's nothing wrong with that. My starting point is going to go strictly to who says who's going to win this game on a regular basis daily, period, in any sport. I nailed UFC. I nailed the Celtics today. I'm in NBA preseason nailing every game. I'm in the NHL preseason nailing every game. I'm doing UFC. I lost with Pena and Alta and hit 15 fighters. Today, it's sick because I don't want people to go, fuck. They already know I'm the real deal because everything's on public so people can see it. And when you have 300 members,
well, Chris, we always hear about. I just remember like last year that you were calling in, and the only picture we're going out was every week, like literally going against 35 Thursday and not winning. But then you'd see you spamming in the chat like all this stuff you hit, and it's like, well, his Thursday information wasn't good, but then he hit all this, the rest.
That's why you were getting like no, but
anyway,
that's why
I do appreciate it, Chris. I have heard some good stuff back, but again, it's just also a lot of like, why doesn't he?
No, the biggest thing, Zach, is you got all the messages, so I can't hide it. You got everything that you just said. He sent me so much winners, and it's got a timeline. It tells you how many hours and how many days. It's not before or after the fact. I'm sending you so much winners in every different sport. You're going, who the fuck is this guy? This guy's amazing. You got to be thinking something. If it's more easier for you to pick a prop and have someone hit touchdowns or home runs, and it's easier for you to do that because you can line up and stuff, that's awesome because you hit a lot of props. There's a lot of congratulations to the winners on the props for sure. And there's a lot of unknown factors on who's going to win the game. You got notes here, and everybody's going. But if you don't have a starting point and you can't definitely give you an answer, you got to look at where you're going to go. And at the end of the day, that's all I can say.
Hey, Chris, I appreciate it all. But again, I'm just saying, when you do call in with the picks, you can be helpful with some games. But again, what you call into a shows to help is never as good as what you're advertising you're accomplishing. And
yeah,
then,
I can't agree, Zach, I put in too much time just like you did. And to be honest with you,
I appreciate it, Chris. I appreciate it. Here's my thing, though, about Chris at the end of the day. Like, he really will send over, like, a message. And the only message I'll read will be the one that, like, hey, Zach, thanks. You helped me get 10 more people on my $300 tier. And they'll send over a $5 CashApp. And I'll be like, so wait a minute. So I helped him sign up for 3,000 people and he sends back $5. Again, I didn't ask for anything and I don't mind helping out other people. But like I'm saying, he brags about how great it is. But then his calls usually for the community, he does give winners, but a lot of times, like, I don't know why your calls then aren't better for us if you hit like this, all 15 of this. It's just, there's just something that doesn't add up. And he's from Vegas, and there's a lot of snaky people in Vegas, and it's just like, again, I mean, people know what it was last year with Thursday. He was like trying to fade every strong narrative. He was like, no, the Bears aren't going to win tonight. They're going to get blown out. And that's what he said. He said too. He said the Bucks were going to get blown out on Thursday Night Football, and that's not what happened. The Falcons did win the game, which didn't shock me. That was my initial read too. But anyway, I don't want to get in a pissing match. It's just, again, the difference is I don't charge people $300 a month and hide my methods. I charge you almost nothing, and I teach you exactly how to do it because that's, I don't know, just a better way to be, in my opinion. Just like for 5 years, I did everything for free. I'm trying to help people come up. What's up, 917? 917?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I want to say thank you, because everything, the Patreon, everything is beautiful. It's impossible not to win, like, your money back $100 every day. It's impossible. It's not. It's like, you know,
It's hard to do that every day, but yeah, what the method we teach is a proven method to multiply small bills into big bills. No doubt about it.
Yeah, like it's beautiful. I mean, and then it's so easy to read because you put everything that's bolded and highlighted, and it's like the easiest thing, easy money. Like, you know, like two pick with a two-pick player prop, and I could make $50 easily. You know, $50, $70 every day. So I thank you so much, Zach. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Shout out to everyone on Patreon. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. Take care. All right. But yeah, again, I mean, there's just, hold on. We got another call. 845. What's up, 845?
What's going on, Zach? I don't know if that Cowboys-Steelers game started yet. I don't know if you have any info on that or not. But I was looking at Football Reference, and I was calling it about CD yesterday. Something that just confirms to me that he's going to score is that Dak can throw his 88th throw career touchdown tonight. And also the stadium, here's why I like him to throw 2 touchdowns possibly. The stadium that they play in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is called a Cruise Stadium. I think that's how you pronounce it. And if you type that in, that's 157. Dak is currently on 155 touchdowns. And hold on one second. Let me look at. I don't know if you could pull it up or not, because I'm on my phone right now simultaneously, but I'll try to get it for you as quickly as I can. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Well, it's okay. It's a public stream. We save the intel for the Patreon streams these days. We gave enough freebies away in this stream already. So.
Oh no, yeah. Oh yeah. So let me just finish what I was gonna say, then I'm gonna let you go. All right. So if he throws 2 today, it could be his 157th Sunday touchdown if he throws 2. And like I said, that Cruise Stadium that they play in Pittsburgh equals 157. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, take care, man.
Thank you.
See you. Okay. Okay. All right, we'll leave it there for now, everybody. But hey, congrats to the winners. Hopefully you guys had a good day. And I guess next week I'll be bringing back the division records once again. Damn slippery division records. But yeah, it was mostly winners today. So, and we did get our big upset. Okay. All right, we'll leave it there for now. Until next time.